You are listening to Indian Teens Unfiltered,
a trampoline media podcast
where teenagers across India
speak their mind about things that matter to them
and issues close to their heart.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Indian Teens Unfiltered. I'm Neha, the co-creator of this podcast. Today, we have three teenagers from Patna, Kunur, and Mumbai who will talk to us about bullying. Of the many definitions of bullying I found online, this one seems to be the most straightforward and simple. Bullying is the use of force, coercion, hurtful teasing or threat to abuse, aggressively dominate, or intimidate. The behavior is often repeated and habitual. Our guests today have a lot to say about bullying, and it's time to find out. But before we move on, content warning. This episode contains strong language and descriptions of violence.
Hi everyone. So I'm Dusha Joy, I'm 17 and I belong to Patna. It's a city in Bihar.
Hello, my name is Meera Shukla and I live in Kunur, that's a small town in Tamil Nadu.
Hi, my name is Maulan Thakkar. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Mumbai.
I think I'd like to just start with asking about what does bullying mean to each of you?
Well, for me, I'd say bullying would be someone who's bigger or stronger or in a more high position, exploiting the weaknesses or using information against someone who probably won't be able to stand up to them. That's bullying for me.
So, according to me, bullying is basically like doing or saying unwelcome things to others over and over again to make them feel bad or to like show power or superiority over them.
It's not only about power because there are many powerful people. So I wouldn't say that all of them bully other people. So bullying does not stem from power, but I would say is when somebody wants to cash upon your weaknesses or some sort of inequality and have a laugh about it or just simply have fun. It does not stem from power, it's a kind of weakness.
It stems from a belief of weakness. It stems from someone who believes they're weak and therefore wants power. And by wanting power, that's why they do all these horrible things like dominating other people. I'll correct myself. It's from want of power rather than from actual power.
Exactly.
I totally agree. I mean, I do agree because not every family is perfect, right? So, from where the bullies come, they might have gone through a lot because of which it might lead them to bullying. I have like guys bullying me for the past 8 years. So, I know that they were a group of 8 boys and every single person used to bully me. So, there was bullying in their gang too because there was not even one person who could stand up to the main bully because he was the one who actually made the entire group.
And can you talk a little bit more about your experience, Maulan?
Sure. So, I've been bullied for the past 8 years, and it is still going on. The bullies from my previous school had actually they had contacted me on on WhatsApp by creating a group with a very hurtful title. I wouldn't like to mention that because it's full of bad words, but it did affect me in a lot of ways. So I didn't have anyone by my side. I used to tell my parents, but at the same time, I used to think about the things that if I tell my parents, what if the bullies bully me even more? Is that going to solve the issue? We complained to the school, we complained to the authorities, but the only action that was taken was the principal talking about the topic and the bullies being absent on that day, or they are just talking within themselves. Personally, being a bullied kid for the past 8 years was really tough because the suicidal thoughts and the things that used to like trigger my mind, because everything that I used to do was very sensitive. Talking to a person, talking to a girl, actually. I would be open because I am never ever like comfortable to talk to a guy. I would always talk to a girl in my previous school. Not with like, oh, I want a girlfriend or anything. That was not my intention. It was just that they are more kind, they understand. So I did make like a couple of friends, two, three friends in my previous school. They were girls. But then I had these bullies come up to me and tell me that if I keep talking to those girls, I'll be bullied. So I didn't stop because I was like, I have a few set of friends and I'm not going to lose them based on what they want to tell me. That led them into taking me into the bathroom, and we have jet sprays over, right? So they sprayed jet spray all over me. They threw tissue papers, and it was actually not only me but my friends too. So there was another kid. He was actually he was disabled, and he was not in the right state of mind at all times. So I used to sit with him during lunch, dinner, every time we were in school. And there were few other children who used to never socialize with other people because of the fear of these bullies. So we all used to just sit together in one of the places in the room, in the canteen, and used to just talk to each other. Whereas they used to come, they used to throw food at us, they used to remove the chair while we used to sit. So there were many areas and places where it has hurt me a lot. They created a group and they started abusing my family, my friends. So at that point of time, I just gave up. I went to the terrace and I just kept thinking of two, three things. Should I just give up at this point by just like going for it? Or should I hold back? Should I open up to someone and tell them what I'm going through?
I just don't have words to say. You're super strong to be able to deal with it and sort of talk about it.
Have you ever tried saying something about it to somebody who knows them, or somebody you know who could help you in a way?
So I did tell my mom. She did talk to a lot of parents and told them that my child is going through bullying. But at the end, everyone's very ignorant. There was this one moment I remember very, very, very nicely. I was in the staircase, and I was walking up to the canteen, and the group of guys came up to me and they were like, we want to show you something. And I was really shocked. I was like, for the first time, these guys are talking to me normally. So I did go along with them, but that was really dumb of me. So that was the time when they pushed me down the stairs. Fortunately, I didn't get hurt. After that, I just ran and I just went to some teacher to tell her what happened. But again, when you do that, they want proof. And how are you going to get proof? You have the entire school against you. Like they'll just tell you that no, we didn't do it. And then few other friends of theirs will come and they'll be like, oh, I didn't see anything like that. So who's going to help you? No one.
When I was bullied, this was in boarding school. I was fortunate enough to have like parents who listened, people who were in charge of the dormitory who listened, and they didn't actually ask for proof, but they just listened. And having someone listen feels good because normally no one sympathizes. They tried to put distance between me and the girl who was bullying me to make sure that no other such incidents happens.
Hey Meera, I would like to ask you, was any action taken against the girl?
Well, no. My dad did want to report her to school, but I was like, no, 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 no. Because she was actually a girl that I had actually made friends with. Because we were both going through the same thing with homesickness at boarding school. Because we were both new kids, we were both unused to the way of life in boarding school without your parents. So we bonded over that, and then suddenly she realized that she could exploit the fact that that I was scared of a lot of things. I couldn't handle things like horror movies. So, like, she used to get me to do things for her, and she was like, if you don't do that, I'll scare you. And I used to be really, really scared. So she said, if you don't help me with my bag and if you don't pick it up, some really nasty surprise will be waiting for you up at the dormitory. So I used to get terrified. And thankfully, there were a lot of other friends. It was strange. People younger than me seemed more understanding. So I used to talk to the girls in the grade below me because they were also just as vulnerable as I was. They were younger. They were also treated the same way by some of the girls in the higher classes. And someone who hasn't gone through it will obviously not understand, but someone who's going through exactly the same thing is a much better person to talk to and a much better person to stick around with. So that definitely helped. But no particular action was taken against the girl, no official action. Just like talking mainly.
You were both going through the same phase. But it's just that one difference, that you used to be scared of certain things. She used that against you.
Exactly. She used multiple things against me, really. I wasn't good at sports. I couldn't run that fast. Many, many, many things. And now that actually affected my trust a little bit because since then, I don't tell people as much about myself because back then I was like very open. I was like, oh yeah, I like this. I'm scared of that. Okay, I'm a bit babyish, whatever. But now I'm just like, no, that's a fact I must not share. No, I'm not telling them that. No, I'm not doing that because I'm just afraid now that they can use that against me. So I'm being way more cautious.
This is about obviously people taking advantage of you, breaking your trust. But what about people that you don't know? I mean, out on the internet, what cyberbullying part of it is all about. And Vishwajoy, I think that's something that you've been dealing with. You want to talk about that?
So I have this page. It's called A Teen with a Sign. And I'm not against anybody. I don't support any movement or any opinion. I just put out whatever I feel like. But my content was very neutral. And I would just read, scrolling through the comment section, somebody has come and abused me. Why? No reason. Or somebody would just DM me, I don't like your face, and so you're a bitch. Wow. And also, internet bullying, they don't understand that the words they are using can affect somebody to a great extent. It's weird. They'll just imagine up scenarios and then they'll put me into it, and then they'll be like, okay, so it would be fun. Would you be my sugar baby? And I'll pay you. They just come up and they'll write Randi. Randi means prostitute. Randi is the Hindi word for it. Or maybe the post is about you should hug people more often, and they'll just come and write you're a slut. How does hugging somebody make me a slut? And that's something very common in the internet, especially with girls. When they can't win an argument against you, they'll just go on and say that you're a prostitute, you're a whore, you're a slut, you're a whatever comes to their mind. So that's the thing. And earlier I used to just block them or mute them or delete the comment, but now I DM them. Why did you say that? Or why do you think that? And sometimes they block me, sometimes they'll be more abusive. It does help me in a sort of way that, okay, I said something. It wasn't like I let it go totally, because there have been moments from my childhood where I let things go, and that affects me more. That I could have stood up, I could have said something, and I didn't. So these days I try to.
What you just said, Vishwajoy, that that you don't want to regret the fact that you didn't stand up, and which is why you try to face your bullies on the internet. For the others also, for Molin, for you, Meera, does that thought crosses your mind? Does that regret come out that I should have stood up to my bullies, or if I had, how I would have?
Yeah, definitely. Because in the end, I keep thinking about what I had that I could use against her, which was a definite advantage. And why didn't I use it? Why didn't I say something? But it never comes when you're in the moment, when you're actually being bullied. I was sometimes so scared that I didn't even think about saying something back. And then that's when all the regrets started. Oh, I should have done this then. I should have said that. And it's horrible.
So it does give you a level of satisfaction that, oh yeah, man, finally I stood up to them. Like I can do it. But at the end, everyone just takes it as a joke. To them, it's just like, what is that guy saying? Just tell him to shut up. Just beat him up. Do something like that.
This must make you so angry, Molin.
Yes, I want to take a bat and break their face. Yes, I want to go choke them. Yes, I want to abuse them. And yes, I want to make fun of them. There's a lot of anger when you see your bully standing in front of you, right in front of you, looking in the eye and telling you those bad words and so doing whatever with it. So it's just like, you just feel like killing him, but at the end you won't. You just go home, cry about it, or be depressed, or you'll watch Netflix, something or the other.
I'd rather not do the same thing as them. I mean, sure, I could use it against them to stand up to them, but I wouldn't use it to sort of torture them the same way they did to me.
What about you, Vishwajoy? Because all the trolls, the bullies that you face on the internet, they're actually people that you don't even know. Does that scare you? Does it make you concerned for your safety?
That scares me more because I'm there on the internet. My face is there on the internet. If calling me a slut doesn't, makes him feel powerful enough, then maybe you could crop and morph my picture. Maybe he could use that against me. So that does scare me. One person, he just slid into my DMs and he had written a lot of abusive things. And this was even when I had not posted anything. I had just created my account, and that person just, you're never gonna be successful because you're so sluttish. Your page is shitty. You're not gonna gain followers, and I hope the worst for you. And then there were certain slangs and abuses. So I just took a screenshot and I put it on my story, and I put a question tag saying, "What do you say to such people?" So that was when I also saw the other part, that okay, there are bullies, but there are people who will help you. Many people came and they just went to his DMs, and later they sent me screenshot that, okay, see, he's bullying you. We'll not just report his account, but we are here to speak for you. So that's the other side too. Maybe if we open up more, there will be people who will listen more.
Each of you has shared your bullying experience with us. Thank you for that. Looking back, how it has affected you as a person now.
So, whenever we think about bullying, we always think that it was something loud enough to affect us, some kind of abuse or some kind of troll. But there is also this kind of bullying that exists, which is very subtle. It happens very subtly without any abusive word or pressuring language. I'll share one experience with you all. My father has a friend who is at a better financial position than us, and his daughter is almost 6 or 7 years older than me. So she used to subtly make me feel bad about, my house is better than yours, or if you haven't been to a certain restaurant, what are you doing with your life? And that continued throughout the years.
Exactly the same thing has happened to me, only with people of the same age group. Because, they watch things, they go to places, they have these apps that they use, they know what's going on, and then suddenly you don't know something like K pop or something like that. I had no clue what that was. And they were just like, "What world do you live in?" And I was like, "I live on Earth, just like you do. I may not know about these things, but it's kind of humiliating. And it feels rather hurtful when someone criticizes you for not knowing something when maybe you've never even had the chance."
So I have never been very like I never liked songs. They used to just make fun of me. They're like, doesn't know the name of the song, he doesn't know who the artist is, and all of that. So yes, I do agree with this, Joy. It's like the small things that touch you in your heart. It's like this one shock, a current that just passes through, and it's like, ouch, that pained.
How do you think it's changed you as a person? And also for everything that you're doing today, the person that you are today.
So making friends for me was really tough because every time I try making a friend, they all are fake to me. I'm really sensitive towards that fact. And during like the coronavirus pandemic, of course, I did meet up with a few friends, like yeah, 2 3 girls, not guys. So I did go out with them, and I was really emotional while talking to them because talking to 2 3 friends for the first time in my life, actually bonding with 2 3 people was really new to me because I've never done that.
What would you like to say to your bullies if you met them now?
If there was one thing I would like to tell them, it would just be thank you and a kiss on the cheek or a hug. Because without them bullying me, I wouldn't have transformed myself into who I am now. I wouldn't have worked out to prove to them that I can be much more fitter than you and how much you could ever be. I didn't share this very hurtful thing that was 10 times worse, and I never told this to anyone other than my mom and obviously my brother. And it was something that they used to like do it every single day in school. It was just normal to them, but it used to pain a lot. We have our nipples, right? So they used to take that and twist it every time. So it was just like a normal thing for them. But it used to pain a lot, a lot, and a lot. At times I used to go home and I used to apply cream at times. I used to like put band-aid because it used to bleed. And getting over through that, it was, if I hadn't had my brother, then I don't think I would have been able to deal with any of this. He helped me through the entire process. He told me ignoring them will be better. Delete Instagram. The 1 year that we got during the lockdown, he helped me focus on my studies. He helped me with new ideas and the things that I'm doing for my personal project for school. So, yeah, I mean, there was one counselor who made me understand that when you're really angry, you can either hurt yourself or you can do something productive with the anger. So, with the help of my brother, I did use it for productivity and I used it at places that I needed improvement. So, every time I thought about them while I was working out, I tend to do like more work because I used to get angry. I was like, why? Why do they do this to me? So, every time I run, I just kill it on the track. I'm like, I just want to run, just get free from all the problems I have in the world.
Maureen, I would say that you are really beautiful and graceful with the way you're dealing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now that I've heard you, I think that's what I would do. I mean, you have to go through something hard in order to become something good.
True. If you were in your friend's place or you were in your classmates' place, what do you think they could have done to make it easy for you or make it better for you?
They can do a lot. They can do a lot, but they won't. They just won't. They'll just ignore because that's what they're good at doing. They can complain, they can stand up. I mean, when you do stand up for a victim of bullying, you have to be ready to face the bully because you'll either save the victim or you'll get bullied yourself. So you'll be a target. And I don't think many people want to stand up for others at this point of time.
So, Molly, your story reminds me of one of my friends. He's bullied in the same way since school began. Just because he was more familiar talking to the girls and more comfortable with them, some people started saying that you're gay. So, you know what I did? I spoke to his mother that auntie so and such a thing is happening. And maybe you are in a better capacity to make it not happen more often. And then she called up other people, called up the parents of those children, and that subsequently stopped.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I would like to say to the bullies is that conjure some power and don't be so weak that you want to prove to the world, hey, I'm powerful by bullying somebody else. Grow your own power, cultivate your own brain.
Very well said. Now, clearly, we have a lot to say on this, but for today, I think this brings us to the end of today's episode. And Molin, Dwishajoy, Meera, all of you are super strong and fantastic. Thank you for talking to us about this sensitive topic and this part of your life. And for our listeners, if you or anyone you know is facing bullying, please remember that you are not alone. The first thing you should do is to confide in an adult that you trust. We have also compiled a list of organizations and helpline numbers that you could connect with. You will find this list in the link in the bio section of our Instagram handle, Let's Trampoline. We hope this helps. Also, for our listeners who wish to participate in the podcast or would like to stay updated, please follow us on Instagram or Facebook or visit our website, trampolinemedia.in. And don't forget to subscribe to Indian Teens Unfiltered on your podcast app.
Indian Teens Unfiltered podcast has been created by Ann Doshi and Neha Jain from Trampoline Media. Trampoline brings cinematic, visual, and audio stories from all over the world for the young minds of India today. This episode was hosted by Neha Jain. The audio was edited by Ahan Shah at Music Boutique. A big thank you to Shamir Tandon and Sunil Doshi for their continuous support.